Welcome back, one and all. This is a very Hawaiian shirt episode of the Core Collection Face Off. I have my wonderful friend Jarrell here with me. Say hello, Jarrell.
Hello, everyone.
He is the once again judge, jury, and executioner of all of my opinions. So he's here to keep me in check, to give me some good insights into who I am, because Lord knows I'm bad at that. Neither here nor there. Let's flip in. Let's just jump into it. So once again, this is the core collection face off. All my favorite games have to fight each other to the death to determine which is my favorite game among them. But it comes off as a little bit of a nitpicking and biased if I don't do it a specific way. So the way I'm going about this is determining. Let me move my microphone. So the way I'm going about this is determining why I like a specific game, and then once I determine both of those for both games, then fighting each other versus just saying this is the winner, this is the loser. So without further ado, I also separated these into different genres, so that way it wouldn't just be like Dark Souls 1 versus Dark Souls 3. Which one do I like more? It's like Dark Souls 3 versus Halo 3. Which one do I like more? It's that kind of thing. That actually is a matchup in the other core collection, neither here nor there. That's an episode to be determined. But drum roll,
Got a couple
Animal
of big
Well.
swingers to start off with.
We got this is the hot episode, hot off the press. Animal Well versus Astrobot. Two 2024 games that are immediately, like, as soon as I played it, I said that's in the core collection. So why is Animal Well in core collection? Animal Well is in the core collection because Animal Well is it's the coolest type of game mixed with the coolest type of game. It's a puzzle like Metroidvania, and those two just like had like they decided to put a yo-yo in there. They decided to put a little frisbee disc in there. They decided to put a bubble, like a bubble blower that you can like jump on the bubble and like it helps you float. Um, they decided to put a slinky in the game. I mean, this is the first slink type game. I have no idea. I adore Animal Well. I think it's so much fun. I've beaten it twice already. I'm probably going to beat it a third time on Switch whenever I get it on Switch. I'm feeling the sneeze coming on, but that's neither here nor there. It's wonderful. I don't have anything better to say about Animal Well, and I am severely lacking in my ability to talk about why I love it, but suffice to say, it's amazing. Astrobot. Astrobot's in the core collection because I love Mario Galaxy and Mario Galaxy 2, and this is basically Mario Galaxy 3. This is such a true evolution of that type of puzzle platforming. It is creative, it is joyous, it's got so much fun connective tissue. You get to play as a Bloodborne Yarnamite in the Yarnum outfit. I I mean, Astrobot has a lot of personality. Astrobot is just brimming to the surface with so many different ideas about what it wants to do, what it wants to accomplish, and it achieves all that and more. It makes you care about the PlayStation 5 when the last time I cared about the PlayStation 5 was November of 2022 when flippin' God of War Ragnarok came out. So like it got me it gave me an excuse to experience how great Uncharted is again. They decided to put Joel and Ellie's Astrobots into the level that has the fungus in it, and you're like, that's hilarious. I love that. So yeah, Astrobot is just a certified banger. Like it is a game that's going to stand the test of time, I believe, and it is so great. So that's why it's in the core
Game of the year
collection.
2024, right?
Game of the Jeff's favorite game of 2024. So, which one wins? Animal Well. That it's simple. Animal Well. It was my favorite game that I played in 2024 during the year 2024. Animal Well, spectacular. Nothing, nothing bad I can say about it, honestly. Okay, we're doing it. Alan Wake 2 versus Ghost of Tsushima. So why is Alan Wake 2 on my game of the year? Alan Wake 2 on my core collection. Alan Wake 2 is on my core collection. It was my game of the year for 2023 because as a creative work, it is like a perfect little nugget of execution of ideas. It is a spooky game. It is a hilarious game. It's a game that has so many fun ideas about the art of storytelling. It's never too smart, but it's always intelligent. It never comes off as confusing, but it always comes off as engaging. With all of its different fractured moments where it's like, I'm trying to piece this together, trying to figure out what this whole thing's about. It's got the song Herald of Darkness in it. It's got the song Anger's Remorse. It's got the song Dark Ocean Summoning. Like, I I loved Alan Wake 2. It made such a strong impression on me that it has no choice but to be in the core collection. Like that's just a fact. Um Ghost of Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima hit at the perfect time because Sony decided to do a double whammy for the PlayStation 4's swan song year, where they had Last of Us Part 2, which made a bajillion dollars and has some, flipping. It's a controversial game to say the least. It's on the core collection, spoiler alert. But, and then you also have Ghost of Tsushima. I need to move that before I click it. And then you have Ghost of Tsushima, which came out about a month later. And Ghost was such an unexpected banger, but also it came out the perfect time considering everyone was stuck indoors for a couple months. Don't know if you remember what the year 2020 was like. And it just hit. Like, it's the Ubisoft game that we always wanted from Assassin's Creed. It is such a fun samurai Ronin game that feels like it's the perfect size for everything that it wants to achieve. It doesn't feel like it has a million map markers. It doesn't feel like it has a million pointless things to do. Everything feels like it has purpose. Everything feels like it has variety. Like there's just enough of each type of thing that it feels like there is variety. And the combat is just fun. It's just a fun, like, lock and key style. Like, oh, I use this move against this move against this guy. And the art direction, beautiful.
Gorgeous.
Absolutely gorgeous. I think that I think Jin Sakai is a very endearing protagonist. I was a big fan of his story, big fan of him and his uncle and Koten Khan. Um, so yes, that's why it's in the core collection. It's got no choice but to be in the core collection. So, facing off, which one comes out on top? This is actually not as easy an answer as I thought it might be. Because the thing about it is that Alan Wake 2 versus Ghost of Tsushima, they both have different strengths and weaknesses. So, Alan Wake 2, I think, is a serviceable video game, but as an artistic experience that's using the medium of video games to craft an experience, I think it's second to none. I think it's so wonderful, the interactivity that they use with the player to where the player is twisting through this maze that they've created that to unravel and whatnot. But I think as a video game, like as a survival horror game, it's good. Like it's not Resident Evil 2 remake for me, but like I like it. I definitely think they took the jank of Alan Wake 1 and they just turned it into more straightforward mechanics in Alan Wake 2. So, for example, in Alan Wake 1, you have a battery. You have like batteries and a flashlight. And you have this meter that slowly goes down the more you use your batteries. But you need to focus your flashlight on different shadowed enemies to be able to deal damage to them. But now it's just a charge. Your battery has like 3 or 4 charges or whatever, and you just charge. It uses one of the charges. It's more straightforward. There's less jank. So, Ghost of Tsushima, wonderful combat, wonderful open world. A lot of the story I don't remember is fairly forgettable. I remember some side characters, I don't remember all of them. I think that it's a bit, in some aspects, it's very unconventional. In some aspects, it is very conventional, but not in a great, like, there's sometimes where convention is played to its strength, but I don't think Ghosts is one of those times. I definitely think that that convention, it leans on that convention to a fault sometimes, but ultimately that just leads to a more forgettable experience versus a worse experience. So if that's like a slight positive towards that. So based on what you've heard, Jarrell, how would you personally rate an artistic experience in the medium of video games versus like a flippin' solid video game?
So I think it all comes down to like at this point just personal experience. I've seen what Alan Wake does and what it can do, and like I can only imagine what playing through some of those set pieces would be like in the sense that like it's hard for me to wrap my head around just how incredible it is because I haven't physically experienced it. And it just I kind of just sit back at it and go like, wow, like that's incredible. Like that's really good. As for gameplay, I've only seen a little bit of it. Like at most it's like run through thing, shine flashlight, like you were saying. Um Pretty interesting. Ghost, I think, again, I've only played Ghost, I haven't played Alan Wake. Um so I'm much more in tune with the story and the gameplay. I think that some of the mechanics they put in the game are genius. I like the parkour, I like the set pieces. The characters, like Grant said, there are some pretty forgettable ones. I don't remember the names of all of them, but I do like the way each of them have their own little arc with Jin in the story and how they all like culminated towards the end of the story itself and the final decision that you make. Uh, I don't know if Alan Wake 2 is setting up for an Alan Wake 3. I haven't played it. In terms of gameplay wise, I think Alan Wake would take the cake just simply because like you have to include all of the puzzles and all of the interactivity inside the gameplay as a video game because that was the purpose of the medium. But for Ghost of Tsushima, like it had a full beginning to end climax downtime storyline. So I think it just depends on what you feel like you got out of it as a gamer. So if Alan Wake's gamer version, like feelings were not as strong, then it would go to Ghost. If the interactivity of Alan Wake outshines what Ghost had to offer, then it goes to Alan Wake. Just you as a gamer as an experience. Bless you.
Oh boy, I think you're bringing up a lot of really great points. I think you're bringing up a lot of. I mean, if it's not obvious enough, I have a flippin' Alan Wake 2 poster right back there, you know what I mean? See, here's the thing, is that this is entirely designed to make me do difficult decisions like this. Because I have to, this is the one time where I have to argue apples and oranges.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to argue against my favorite apple versus my favorite orange. It just depends on what aspects things shine brightly for me in the moment, or what moment has stood the test of time. I will say, oh, I'm not going to go based off replayability because Lord knows that got me into a world of hurts the last time I tried. I think it's Alan Wake 2. Alan Wake 2 makes a bigger punch. This one.
Ooh.
This one's tough.
Two very different games.
Two very different games. And by the way, Forsaken.
Both are looter shooters.
Forsaken. For Final Shape in the last video specifically stood for Final Shape. This stands for all of Destiny 2. Destiny 2 in its totality.
I think just saying that by itself should put up should display how much of a caliber Forsaken has to beat the stamp of Destiny.
Yes. So why is Destiny 2 in the core collection? Destiny 2 is in the core collection because I have 3,100 hours in Destiny 2 over the last 8 years. Destiny 2, and that is really the last 7 years because I haven't really played since all those devs got fired. I love Destiny 2. I have a poster over there of this exact Forsaken poster on the wall. I have so many good memories of Destiny 2. I have so many bad memories of Destiny 2. I have so many unforgettable experiences through Destiny. And I really want to highlight what Forsaken did that makes Forsaken the poster child for everything that Destiny 2 can be and could possibly be one day, even though it's never going to happen again. Forsaken, now granted, flippin' Forsaken was back when Bungie was partnered with Activision, which means they had access to Vicarious Visions, back when Vicarious Visions existed. High Moon Studios, they had a whole team working on annual pass expansions, and they were able to create, like, they were able to hand entire portions of their development to other studios while they worked on like the cream of the crop. So the cream of the crop really rose to the top. So Forsaken basically has it all. Forsaken is the poster child that shows what Destiny 2 can be, and it's never going to be like that again, but like the pinnacle of what could be. So let me just lay it all out there. You have an excellent, really good campaign that actually utilizes the adventure system in an interesting way. You have you're going back to random rolls. You're going back to classic. You're going back to weapons 2.0, which means that I can have 3 shotguns if I want to. You're going back to. You're going to the masterwork system. You're going back to a more difficult comp experience. You're going to pinnacle weapons. You're going to. You're going to the Tangled Shore, one of the best flippin' areas that Bungie has ever made, even like that Destiny has ever seen. You're going to the Dreaming City, one of the best in-game locations Bungie has ever made. You're going to the Last Wish. You're going to the world's first dungeon in Destiny, the Shattered Throne. You're going to. This is about all of the exotics. This is about 1K voices. This is about 9 new supers. This is about Gambit. This is a Gambit when like Gambit was like hot. Gambit was like the next new thing that Bungie was making. Like Drifter, one of the best characters Bungie has ever made for Destiny. Arguably has had the biggest impact on the game ever in terms of a tone shift. You have the death of Cade 6. You have the death of Uldren. You have visiting Marasov in the Dreaming City. You have titles. You have Cursebreaker and Ribbonsbane and Chronicler and just so much stuff, dude. Like it's crazy. They are never going to do that again. But like Destiny has had different highs in different periods for different reasons. You have you have Scourge of the Past, you have Menagerie, you have Crown of Sorrow, you have Slim Thick Gowron and Thick Boy Gowron. You have the Deepstone Crypt, you have Stasis, you have Stasis and PvP. Ugh. You have there's so much to love about Destiny 2 that you have Reckoner, which I am a Reckoner, not to brag, but there's so much in Destiny 2 that I'm just like Destiny 2 was it was the thing that I dedicated my early 20s to, straight up. And I'm so glad that I did because it gave me unforgettable experiences that I will cherish forever. Truly. I think Destiny 2 is great. That's why Destiny 2 is always going to be in the core collection for me. There's just no other way around it. And Minecraft is here because it's Minecraft. I mean, like, flipping. I have the Platinum Trophy of Minecraft on PlayStation. What I do in Minecraft is I just mine. That's all I do. If me and my brother are in a Minecraft world together, I am doing the mining. He is doing the crafting. Together we Minecraft.
Chicken Jackie.
Chicken Jackie. It's Minecraft. Like everyone knows why it's here. You know what I mean? So yeah. So Minecraft. That being said, it's obviously Destiny 2 Forsaken. I feel like those arguments were my arguments for why they were in there speak for themselves as to why I'm picking this. Ooh. Celeste versus Hollow Knight.
This episode just keeps cooking.
It just does not stop, dude. Celeste is in the core collection because platformers are one of the best genre of video game and Celeste is one of the best platformers that I have ever played. And it's all because of a little dash mechanic that is used to excellent degree in so many inventive puzzles and additive mechanics and difficulties. And it's a story about self acceptance and rejecting a part of yourself and anxiety and just trying to be true to yourself. And it's really cool. And I love the art style. And you collect cool strawberries that fly. And Celeste is a banger, certified banger. One of my favorite games of 2018. I bought this game for my 20th birthday or 21st birthday, one of those, and I beat it, just played it the entire day, and that was my birthday. One of the best birthdays I've ever had. That's why it's in the core collection. I've beaten it like twice, going on maybe 3 times. So yeah. Hollow Knights. What is there to say that my manager John has not already said about Hollow Knight? Shout out my guy. Hollow Knight is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful game. It takes one of the coolest things in the world, which is a Metroidvania, takes one of the coolest things in the world, which is being a Souls-like, and it says, what if we were good versions of both of these awesome things? It's got a wonderful art style. It's got really interesting lore that like feels inviting because the game itself is cool and it has cool lore. It's got so many free expansions. It's got so much stuff you can do in the game. It's got wonderful combat, wonderful exploration, wonderful, like, it exceeds and excels in all areas that it sets out to achieve in. Wonderful bosses as well, except for one jellyfish boss, but that's neither here nor there. I love Hollow Knight. I've beaten it twice. I cannot more highly recommend Hollow Knight, and I cannot highly more recommend both of these games overall. So that being said, which one wins? Because I have to kill one of my favorite children. I There's nothing wrong with either of these games. The only thing that's wrong about them is that they haven't spawned a sequel yet. Am I right or am I right, Silksong fans? Rip.
Am I right or am I right, Earthblade fans?
Right, rip to my boy Earthblade. Am I right or am I right? Man. This hurts. This hurts me. Hollow Knight is like the coolest game I've ever played. Celeste is like one of the most fun games I've ever played. See, here's the thing, is that they both have equal impact on me, so I have to look at a different aspect of them. It's probably Hollow Knight, but that's just because the breadth of what Hollow Knight is able to achieve in all of its systems cannot be understated. Like, Hollow Knight is masterful at being the first good non-From Software Souls-like. I'm of course being hyperbolic, but still, it stands like head and shoulders above the rest. Truly. As one would say.
As one would say.
As one would say. I think it's Hollow Knight. But like, to say that is not to take a single strawberry away from Celeste. Because Celeste deserves it as well. Like, but it's Hollow Knight. I mean, like, you know. Mm-hmm. So, I think it's Hollow Knight. Such a banger, dude. Okay.
Oh boy.
I spoke very highly about both of these games. Which one am I going to pick? Especially considering this is a case where, like, in the year, I was like, both of these games are the best game that came out that year. Now, they're like number 2, maybe number 3. So now I have to be nitpicky, okay? Now I have to. Animal Well versus Alan Wake 2. Now to be nitpicking and biased, I win, bye-bye. Animal Well, there's nothing I can nitpick about Animal Well. I mean, what is there to say? It's so good. It's so good. Achoo, achoo, achoo. Achoo, achoo, achoo. Oh, goodness, dude.
Moly.
Dude, I got the sneezies, dude. Okay. What is there to say about Animal Well? There's nothing bad I can say about Animal Well. What is there to say about Alan Wake 2? It's not as good as Tears of the Kingdom. I'm sorry, but or like, so like that's where I'm back on that horse now, where I think frankly Tears of the Kingdom's probably the better game. But shoot, I'm feeling another sneeze coming on, let me tell you, dude.
Wrestle can go.
Am I done? This is a flippin' sneezing episode, let me tell you.
This is the sneezing episode. Can we get a sneeze counter on screen?
I think I might do a sneeze count, I'm not gonna lie. I think it's Animal Well, because I can't, like, flipping, what am I gonna say against Animal Well? You know what I mean? Like, it's 6 hours. It's like the most fun 6 hours of puzzle solving you'll ever have. And if you want to do more, there's so much more puzzle solving in it. So yeah, it's Animal Well, but I love my boy Alan Wake. Don't get me wrong. I'll show you the Herald of Darkness. Am I right or am I right? Show me the Champion of Light. This is even worse. The game that's had the most impact on me versus the game that's had the most impact on my manager, John. Destiny 2 Forsaken. See, the problem is Destiny 2 is like the definition of an imperfect video game. It started out as imperfect, it got way better but equally imperfect, and then it stumbled its way through perfections and imperfections along its journey until they fired all those devs. But like, man, what a journey it was, you know what I mean? And Hollow Knight is Hollow Knight. There's not like it's like Animal Well. I can't say a single bad thing about Hollow Knight.
Sounds like we've got ourselves Mexican standoff.
Classic Mexican standoff. I was just about to say. Forsaken.
Only input I can give is that I only played Destiny, not Hollow Knight, and Destiny, of course, at its low was frustrating, but at its peak gave us years and years of enjoyment. And that's all I really got. I mean, if we're rating games on replayability here.
Oh boy.
Yeah, no. Destiny was our.
It was the go-to. It was the
go-to for a long time. Even I will even go as far to say as that like the late night soul searching talks we would have would always be in the Destiny 2 tower.
That's true.
Not any other video game, you know?
That's true.
And it could have been a product of just Destiny being the go-to, or it could have been a product of that kind of vibe from Destiny just brings out chill
just
vibes.
Just jumping around the tower for an hour and a half waiting to do something, but ultimately just vibing out.
Yeah.
Destiny 2 is the first.
Because I can guarantee you I can guarantee you we weren't the only Fire team to ever do that.
Oh yeah. 100%. 100p, as they say. I gotta pick Destiny. Like, I just, like... I gotta.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, John, but I gotta. Whew. Oh, man.
Never thought I'd see the day.
Never thought I'd see the day, dude. I cannot believe what this tier list has turned into and what I've had to do to survive. I have so many bad things to say about Destiny 2. I could go off.
On and on and
on. On and on and on and on and on and on. I got nothing bad I can say about Animal Well. I plan on buying a very expensive copy of this game so that way I can sit on that shelf and I can give it to my friends so they can play it and I can just sit, watch, look at it, just be in there. But man, would I pay $200 to flip and play Forsaken again? I would drop a fat stack if they were like, by the way, we're turning the Forsaken servers back on for like 6 months.
That would be incredible. I would be there day one.
That means I gotta pick Destiny 2. Like that's I have
Destiny 2 was just our friend for such a
Destiny
long time.
2.
It's hard to not.
This is me. And this is Destiny 2. Destiny 2 is dead and I'm carrying it. But like I love Destiny. Destiny 2 was my Cade 6. And this is my Forsaken journey of coming to terms with the fact that it's dead. But I gotta pick Destiny 2. Like dude, is Destiny 2 gonna have to go against Bloodborne? This is gonna be so difficult.
Crazy.
Okay, we'll see what happens.
We'll
But
see what happens.
reset time. The weekly reset like in Destiny 2. Doom Eternal versus Super Mario 64 DS. So why is Doom Eternal in the core collection? Dude, I'm having so much fun by the way. Thank you for joining me.
Heck yeah.
This is
You're welcome.
I this is a delight to try to experience this. Doom Eternal is in the core collection because ripping and tearing has never been so much fun. I love the speed of this game. I love the agility of this game. I love the lock and key nature of the like it's a little puzzle that you solve every time you discover a weakness of an enemy and you're just like, "Oh, I switch this gun to shoot them over there, then I collect the ammo from that, I go over there, I switch this gun, and then I shoot this specific part off of an enemy so that way I can shoot that and then it'll explode, and then I monkey bar hop over there, and then I use my grapple hook on my sawed off to go over there, and it's just like it's so much like Doom is about putting you in a box and then you just run around the box killing everything wildly. Doom Eternal is like, what if that box was 3 dimensions and you also had to play like the bop it while you're doing that. And you're like, that sounds like it's a bit convoluted, but like when you put a cool gun and cool music behind what you're doing, it's phenomenal. Um the encounters are fun. It's ripping and tearing is so much fun. Rip to Mick Gordon's relationship with Bethesda, though. I am still sad about that. Mick Gordon deserved better. That being said, that's why it's in the core collection. Super Mario 64 DS is in the core collection because I am the video gamer that I am because of this game. When I got a DS, I was like, what's this 64 deal? I don't know what this is, but it's got Mario. I didn't know what Nintendo 64 was. I just knew what a DS was because my friends had a DS. And I played it, and it changed my life because I was like, wait, I discovered like you can unlock Luigi in this game by jumping through a mirror into the other side, and it's like, what is going on here? And that's Wario. Never mind. Well, I'm fake gamer alert. You could go through
Fake
there.
gamer.
Fake gamer, dude. Um, like so many secrets. Authentic discovery was birthed through this game. Like I love Super Mario 64 DS. It's a very busted version of Super Mario 64 because like in a game of like limitless nearly limitless movement of what you're able to do, putting that onto a D-pad on a Nintendo DS where you're just like it's insane when you had like the slickness of the Nintendo 64 controller. But neither here nor there, it's still a wonderful version of that game. I wish they would remaster this version of the game so I could play it on like the Switch. Like I would kill for a 64 DS remake. Super Mario 64 Switch, I would kill for that. It's Super Mario 64 DS. Like that's this is the it's personal episode where I'm just picking things that are super personal to me, I guess. So, it's that. Yeah, I love Doom Eternal, but it's 64. I would not be the gamer that I am if it was not for Super Mario 64 DS. Okay,
Let's go.
it's Bloodborne. But that being said, let's talk about why Titanfall 2 is on the core collection. Titanfall 2 is on the core collection because gaming has never reached quite as cool of a moment as Titanfall 2. Like you have Titanfall, very solid concept, Xbox exclusive, but then they go multi-platform. Then EA says, "Oh, let me put you right in between the big Call of Duty and the big Battlefield this year, like the week before those two games came, the week in between those two games coming out." And it completely ruined Respawn. That's why EA bought them. Uh I Titanfall 2 is wonderful. It's got so much fun gunplay. I think anyone that's played Apex Legends knows that Respawn's gunplay is third to none. I say that because Bungie's is second to none, so therefore Respawn's has to be third to none. Such a fun campaign. Like I'm mainly talking about the campaign experience, but like Titanfall 2's campaign is wonderful. Can't wait for Titanfall 3, am I right or am I right? But that's why it's in the core collection. But it's Bloodborne. I mean, it's Bloodborne. Do I need to explain why Bloodborne is? Do I need to draw? Should I?
Yeah, go ahead. Give
Okay.
us a rundown, just real quick.
Bloodborne is here because if Mario 64 created the gamer that I was and am today, Bloodborne helped refine the gamer that I am today. I used to be scared of difficult games. I used to be scared of horror. I used to be scared of British people, but this game helped me conquer all of those fears. This is the first FromSoft game I ever beat. I platinumed this game. I have beaten this game time and time again. I have probably 200 hours into Bloodborne in the past 4 years. I Last February all I did was try to speed run a deathless run of Bloodborne. I got in at like a couple hours, like an hour 45. Um and that's just base campaign. I'm not talking about any of the actual fun bosses like in the DLC, but not that there's not fun bosses, you know what I mean. But Bloodborne is just a masterpiece. It's got my favorite FromSoft boss ever, Ludwig the Holy Blade. It's got my it's got my favorite weapon in a video game, the Saw Cleaver. One of my favorite weapons in a video game, the Saw Cleaver. I feel a sneeze coming on again, but that's neither here nor there. Oh, that really hurts. I love Bloodborne. It might be my favorite game of all time. And that's why it's in the core collection. So,
Let's go.
ooh, this is a fun one. God of War 2018 versus Astro's Playroom. Why is God of War in the core collection? Because one day on like April 18th, April 19th, I watched a little video by a little YouTube channel called Layman Gaming. And on it was a very particular Australian man by the name of Ralph, aka Skill Up. And he said that this was the game of the generation. And so I took him at his word. I bought it, came out on 420, 2018. I played it. I was emotionally changed by this experience, and I've beaten it probably 6 times since then. I love this game. I love the story that follows it up with, God of War Ragnarok, which won my first core collection battle after Jarrell pointed out that maybe I should focus on what the game actually is rather than how replayable it is. I thank you for that.
Of course.
I I love Mimir. This has Jormungandr. This has really bombastic set pieces. This has really intimate moments. The characterization takes its time. It doesn't rush anything. It puts everything through its proper paces, and you feel emotionally satisfied by what you've experienced. And I love that. And that's why it's on the core collection. In the year 2020, never would you have expected the simple packing game that explains what a PlayStation 5 is and our PlayStation DualSense is. Never would that game or should that game be as good as Astro's Playroom is. And it birthed another game on this core collection, Astrobot. And Astro's Playroom is just fun. Like it's a wonderful tech demo for what Astrobot would be. It's got wonderful references. It showed that PlayStation still acknowledges Bloodborne in some way, so that's always good to see. I really love Astro's Playroom. Like I got the platinum trophy for that too. So, but this is God of War's. This is God of War's flowers. So, you know, no hate to Astro's Playroom, but
No hate, no hate.
Uncharted Lost Legacy deserves better than this, let me say. Uncharted Lost Legacy is my favorite Uncharted. I think it's the perfect mix of all the best stuff of the old Uncharted's with all of the new stuff that Naughty Dog has been working on and really cooking with since The Last of Us, since Neil Druckmann basically took over Naughty Dog. I love Uncharted Lost Legacy. It's like when people talk about a Miles Morales style game, which is like a smaller game that's like, 8 hours versus your 16 hours or your 24 hours, like really they should be saying it's a Lost Legacy, because Lost Legacy is better than Miles Morales. Uncharted Lost Legacy is what happens when Naughty Dog says, we're going to make Uncharted 4 DLC. And then they say, oh, we're kind of cooking right now. We could like sell this for like a full box product. And then they crunch a bunch, which sucks, but they also create a really wonderful game, which obviously that is not to say that crunching is ever good, but at the same time, flipping, they made a great game. I love the game, and the game will stand forever as my favorite Uncharted game, unless, it will. So it's like the perfect mix. I think that where Indiana Jones takes Christian iconography, Uncharted Lost Legacy uses Hindu iconography to excellent degree. They took that from Uncharted 2 and they ran with it here. I think it's wonderful. Um, that being said, Balatro is like one of the finest games that I have ever played. I am so serious when I say that, Jarrell. You will be borrowing my copy of Balatro, which is actually sitting on that shelf over here. Actually, I also gifted you a thing of
Yeah,
Balatro.
I was about to
So
say
I was
you
about to
can
say,
cut that
yeah,
part because
I can just
you've
cut
already
that part.
gifted it
Yeah,
to me. I have
yeah.
it.
So whenever you get to playing that, I will be very interested to see what you say because I
Oh, for
adore
sure.
Balatro. Um, so Balatro for the uninitiated is what happens when someone finally decides to make a good video game. I
Rare nowadays.
it is a poker roguelike where it uses poker hands and it uses the concept of like jokers, like joker cards having like multipliers to them, and it creates one of the most fun puzzle roguelikes I've ever played because once you like when I played it last year, 2024, I played 8 hours of it. I finally got to ante 8, which once you beat ante 8, you're considered as having beaten the game. But beating the game is really the intro course. So I really only did the intro course to Balatro in 2024. It listed as number 6 on my game of the year list, but that's because like I had nothing bad to say about it, but it's just like I had fully played so many other games that like it felt bad to just like arbitrarily kind of insert Balatro's number 2 when I had only sunk I dipped my proverbial toe into it. And then January hit of 2025 and all I played was Balatro that month. I put like 40 hours into Balatro in January, and it's so much fun. It's so much fun. Like, you know how when you play Tetris and you start to imagine the different combinations, it's like the Tetris movie quote, I start to see blocks in my dreams. It's like that, but for poker hands and joker combinations uh and tarot card additives and steel card additions and eliminating certain cards and focusing on which planet cards you're going to use. And it's just like adding all of these things together. They can create such fun combinations. No run feels the same as the other. And it is it is truly an unrivaled experience because no other game
Yes,
does
you
it
good.
quite like this. Balatro could have been the first $80 game if people immediately knew how much it has to offer. I'd pay $80 for Balatro. I'm flipping. You kidding me? I love Balatro, so that's why it's in the core collection, and that's why it's beating Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. It's Bloodborne. Yeah, I'm thinking Bloodborne. Mario 64 just has so much jank to it that like it can't possibly contend against FromSoft's best. You know what I mean? So like, but no hate to the game that made me who I am today. So, all right, Jarrell,
All right.
the recency bias. I don't know if I should fight it or embrace it because on the one hand, I have played God of War 6 times. I have platinumed God of War. On the other hand, Balatro just sings to me. It's like the sweet
Right.
blood from Bloodborne. It sings to me. It's enough to make a man sick. Beasts all over the shop. You'll be one of them sooner or later. So, negatives about God of War. What are the negatives about God of War? Um, some negatives include the idea that I don't love the RPG elements. I wish that I could just play cool thing and slowly upgrade over time versus having to like collect currency so I could buy materials, so I could buy this armor set that I then have to upgrade using currency that I get from God of War's own roguelike parts that it has on Muspelheim or whatever it is, like the one mist place where it's like there's like a roguelike mode in flipping God of War 2018. I forget what that place is called, but neither here nor there. I I beat the Valkyrie Queen. Great fight. I I just don't love the RPG elements. I've never been much of an RPG guy, which is funny considering Final Fantasy VII Rebirth beat out so many other games in that last bracket, and so did God of War Ragnarok, and Bloodborne's also
Yeah.
here. So I'm not much of an RPG guy though, and also Destiny 2 is right there. Um,
But guys, he's
I
not an RPG guy.
but I'm not an RPG guy. Balatro, what is there bad to say about Balatro? Not enough people play it. I got nothing bad to say about Balatro is the thing. Like it's like Tetris. Like it's just one of those puzzle games that's just going I feel like is going to stand the test of time because it's so it's such a universally approachable experience that anyone I feel like it's a pick up and play game even though it
Hmm.
slowly its intricacies reveal itself to be more complicated than Tetris. Like Tetris, at the end of the day, is still just like shapes fit in with other shapes. And Balatro is like, well, actually, if you take the square root of pi and multiply it by the x times radius squared, and then it's like, oh, but I had this joker and that joker, and I had this ante, but I also have this multiplier, but I also have this I also have steel cards, but I also have a joker that multiplies my kings, but I also have a planet card that means that if I get a full house, I get this, and it's like it's a lot, you know what I mean? So but it's Balatro. So no hate to God of War. I love God of War. Does that? Do you feel like I've properly explained myself, or do you feel like you need more to justify that?
I feel like you properly explained yourself because I was thinking about it from our perspective and like because my favorite game of all time is New Vegas. And while I think it's an incredible story, there's some people that might not agree. But I like New Vegas because of the time I had, not because of the story it told. And sometimes that's enough for people,
Yeah,
and that's surely enough for me. So if Balasho is enough for you from the time you had rather than the story it told, then that's more than okay.
I also like part of the reason why is because like I think God of War Ragnarok just is a better video game than God of War 2018. So like if God of War isn't even the best God of War that God of War can be, if that makes sense, that's a little bit unfair.
It does make sense, but yeah, yeah, I get what you're
It's a
saying.
little bit unfair. I am being nitpicking and biased, but like, um, what even is there to say, dude? I like obviously Balatro's not winning this. I'm sorry, it's not. Sorry, John again. I I love Balatro. I do. I own it, but like I bought it twice. But
Bloodborne
the sweet
owns the
blood,
most
it
tournaments.
swings to me. You know what I mean? It's enough to make a man sick. You were by my side all along, my guiding moonlight. And then I do a, then I do an impression of the Orphan of Kos.
Are you able to give us a dang old man Yarnum? Is that his name?
we
What's the dude's
talking
name?
Gehrman, the first hunter.
Gearman, yeah. There's a Gearman line.
Just go out and kill a few beasts. It's for your own good.
There we
Flipping.
go.
Enough trembling in your boots. A hunter must hunt. I love Bloodborne. I just like it's like the perfect size video game. It's like 20 hours if you're trying to do everything. Like 16 if you're good. But like it's so much fun. It's properly obtuse in some areas. Like it's not perfect. Flipping a consumable health item is not exactly as great as a rechargeable health item. But also like, flipping just get better at the game. um I like it's Bloodborne. Like it's Bloodborne, you know what I mean? So
I
now
know
I have
exactly what you mean.
to I'm just gonna
Here we go.
all right. I guess since I'm not allowed to leave, I should probably decide am I right or am I right? What do I do, Drew?
You soul search. You ask yourself, do you gotta grab those motes? You gotta hunt the beasts.
So I'll do this. I'm going to restate the best and worst of both of these. What is the best that Destiny 2 has ever been? It is Forsaken. 2 new areas, a raid, a dungeon, gambit, new weapon system, new armor system, new masterwork system, pinnacle weapons, reworked everything. Random rolls are back. Difficulty is put back into the game. Surge is put back into the game. You could be swimming at full speed in this game, and yet you could not catch up with the sheer torrent of content being thrown at you. Unrivaled in what they were able to offer. The lowest that this game has ever been is when I wasn't playing, because I just got burnt out on the same activities, collecting the same broken weapons to do the same activities, to get the same loot, to do the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over again. Destiny 2 has truly. Oh, I'm about to sneeze again.
Bless you, bless you, bless you.
I think that's it. No, I feel like another one's coming on, but we're going to move through it. Am I able to move through this? It hurts. I'm gonna get a heart attack from how powerful my sneezes are. Ow, 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 this hurts. This hurts a lot. Dude, oh my gosh, I'm in pain. Okay.
Yeah, Lee.
Jeez Louise, dude. Jeez Lewis. Destiny 2 was at its lowest when it just got repetitive and stale because they just leaned on creating the same level of drip feed content. 2021, honestly, though, probably the best year for Destiny 2. Like, Season of the Chosen, Season of the Splicer, Season of the Wish, Crossplay, Vault of Glass, 30th Anniversary, Grasp of Avarice, the reveal of the Witch Queen that showed off all the amazing things the Witch Queen had to offer. Like, Season of the Chosen, all the way up into the release of the Witch Queen. Probably the best, most consistent time to be a Destiny fan. I mean, that's when Bungie got bought by Sony because of how good that year was.
Yeah.
Unforgettable, truly.
Unforgettable.
Bloodborne is at its best whenever you're playing Bloodborne. Bloodborne is at its worst whenever you're not playing Bloodborne. Bloodborne's just at its best when you're playing Bloodborne. Like, there's no other way to say it. Like, I I know this game in and out. It is infinitely replayable. I will never get tired of it. If I ever have a problem with Bloodborne, it's because I'm not in the right frame of mind, not because there's a problem with Bloodborne. That being said, Chalice dungeons kind of suck. But at the same time, you don't have to do the Chalice dungeons. They're entirely optional, unless you want the Platinum Trophy, which I already have. Got them.
Right. Got
Um,
him.
this is so tough, dude. Based on what you've heard, is there anything that you feel like I'm missing out? Because you've played both of these games as well. Like, I'm not, this of all the matchups to happen, you've seen
I'm gonna
this.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm in the same boat as you because both of these games are absolutely incredible, and it's really hard to choose one or the over the other. And like the amount of time I've sunk into Destiny 2 is like really like incredible. And like I'm trying to figure out a way to like separate like my literal nostalgia with Destiny 2 over the epicness of what Bloodborne was. Because like I spent a pretty good time around a Bloodborne as well. And let me just say, for me, killing a raid boss for the first time and conquering a boss in Bloodborne that you've tried 30 times to beat have the same level of hypeness. Like it's an incredible feeling. So like I felt like in Destiny you have supers and synergies and weapons and loadouts, and in Bloodborne you have mechanics and visceral strikes and dodges and fast combat, and it's just like learning boss mechanics. Say every boss battle in Bloodborne is a raid, but not every battle in Destiny 2 is a raid, if that makes sense. So like it's just hard to because Bloodborne is also inherently a single player game. So like I also ha- having you with me during my playthrough was great, but it's also not the same of like, hey, let's go complete this mission so we can gear up to go take out this raid this weekend.
Yeah.
Um, it's just two different experiences, and both of them are equally as incredible. And so like I really wouldn't know how to choose.
Yeah.
Because it's not like Bloodborne has a bad story either. The story is incredible. It's eerie. The game literally changes as as you progress through the story,
We
and like
forgot.
after
We forgot one of the flippin' we're born of the blood, made men by the blood, undone by the blood. Our eyes are yet to open. Fear the old blood. Like, Master
what is
Willem.
that one guy with the cage on his head?
Ah, majestic! A hunter is a hunter, even in a dream. Like you did for the vacuous realm. Grant us eyes. Grant us
Santos
eyes.
eyes. Like the fact that there are
Cos, or as some say,
that
Cosm. Ugh.
invisible beasts that just are present in the world that you just cannot
Amygdala.
see
Until you
that
hit a
you cannot
certain amount of
see until you
insight.
have
Like,
yes, dude. Like it's crazy. Like the entire game changes based on your knowledge and like
and that's like
like
thematically a point of the game. Like,
and like after a while like you'll just hear a crying baby in the background constantly, and it's like the creepiest thing ever. But like if your insight isn't high enough, it doesn't really mean anything to you, but if your insight is really high, then like the game just becomes this gothic horror scene, and it's like, bro, three different endings that have very different meanings, and
Abritus, Daughter of the Cosmos, Orphan of
it's
Kos,
like
Ludwig the whole. It's Bloodborne. Like, I'm sorry. It, like,
but then Destiny 2 has panoptes.
no panoptes. But, like, the thing is that Destiny 2
And Cade
hasn't
and Aldrin's story is one of the best stories I've ever seen
Destiny
for a
2
character.
hasn't beat me up, but it's left me dragging at the back of a semi, just getting gravel all up in my shirt.
It it might be Bloodborne.
Like, there's no
It
loser.
might be.
There's only two winners here. Like, if I
There's
could,
only two winners. Bloodborne has hurt me less than Destiny
And
has.
that's saying something because that's a FromSoft game we're talking about.
I know. Oh
Bloodborne is the
man.
better game. Like I just
I'm just gonna put this out there. If Bloodborne had a remake, there wouldn't be a question.
it still looks prettier than most some PS5 games because of
It
powerful art
does, yeah.
direction. Okay,
I agree.
is Bloodborne? Yeah, I'm thinking Bloodborne. It could only have turned out this way. Let me tell you.
It truly could only have turned out. I think that was a dang good bracket.
That was a very. I think this might be the best bracket yet. Like,
I think so. I'm not dissatisfied with anything.
thank you so much for joining me, Jerome. This was a delight.
It was a pleasure to be here.
I will.
Thank you. Thank you.
We will see you in the next one. Peace
Shall
out.
indeed. Peace.